I am perplexed. I am genuinely perplexed. I'm doing so well at this game. Oh, I know that one. Okay, here we go. He means he went to one galaxy, his ass went to another. Oh, okay. He means he went to one galaxy, his ass went to another. I mean, Bones? Star Trek? No! Wow. He means he went to one galaxy, his ass went to another. Was it Johnny Cage? No. I'm doing so well at this game. I am perplexed. I am genuinely perplexed. Doom! There you go. Haven't seen that movie in a long time, clearly. Okay, I'll rewatch that one.
He means he went to one galaxy, his ass went to another.
Occasionally, I do get people that come up and talk about it. I think the cool thing about that movie is the first-person shooter sequence, which really was a pretty fair and accurate representation of the experience of actually playing the game. And for that reason, I think that movie, stands up. I would cut off your head, dwarf, if it stood but a little higher from the ground. I know this one. This is Eomer, The Lord of the Rings. If you haven't seen it, classic movie, series of movies. Check it out.
I would cut off your head, dwarf, if it stood but a little higher from the ground.
I had just done a small New Zealand film called The Price of Milk. And the director of that movie was very good friends with Peter Jackson, and he took a rough cut of The Price of Milk down to show Peter. And I think I just sort of happened to be in Peter's face when they were looking for someone to cast in the role of Eomer, and so we got a call. Do you want to come and play? I was like, absolutely. And that was, without a doubt, and to this day, one of the most incredible experiences that I've ever had in my career. And shooting in New Zealand, which was phenomenal. I saw more of the country in that period of time than I had my entire life. And working on something that was so beloved, even the gaffers and the lighting guys and the catering, everyone's carrying around a copy of the book and saying, oh, okay, so today we're in Edoras, and okay, what are we filming? And looking and reading about it. And everybody was so invested from every department. It was really an amazing experience. Okay, here we go. I'm going to get this one. Are you out of your Vulcan mind? Come on. It's Bones, Star Trek.
Are you out of your Vulcan mind?
I really loved the original Star Trek series. When I was a kid, I used to watch the reruns of it with my dad. I always loved it. I always loved the notion of all the sort of eclectic group of characters that had to learn to work together to overcome their common differences. I loved some of the more scary episodes, sort of the more philosophical questions it would pose. I auditioned for Bones, and I went and read with JJ, and he goes, okay, let's see what you got. And I did it. And I remember I was partway through the audition process, and I hear this laughter. And I'm like thinking, what the hell are they laughing at? And then I also suddenly click, oh my God, they're laughing at me. They must like what I'm doing. And I completely sort of spaced out and lost the rhythm of the scene. Managed to pick it up again, and at the end of it, JJ sort of looks at me and he turns to his producing partner, Brian Burke, and the casting director, April Webster, and just said, yeah, I think that's Bones. And then he looks at me and goes, well, I guess you should do it again. And literally within an hour of leaving that room, we got the call. It's like, welcome aboard. It was a wonderful experience to be a part of, and really wonderful to get to meet all those guys eventually, and to work with Leonard Nimoy and see him don the pointy years for the first time in 17 years was a trip. But I think the whole cast would love to the opportunity to do another movie, and we'll wait and see. Thank you. Fucking diabolical. I know that one. Billy Butcher, The Boys.
Oh, fucking diabolical.
Why is it so popular? That's a good question. I'm not sure I can answer that for you. It's a great, catchy line. You know what? I had a lot of fun playing Billy Butcher. It's just one of those sort of characters that comes along every once in a while. And I figured if I have fun doing this character, the audience is going to have fun being with him and watching him and his crew and what they get up to. And we've got 5 seasons now, and I can't wait for the audience to get into what we've just shot. All right. I know this one. I am the law. Judge Dredd.
I am the law.
Working with the helmet on the entire time was, for me, as a fan of the Judge Dredd comic series, the only way to do it. That was the version of it that I knew from the comics and that I loved. And it posed a significant challenge because obviously the actor's face and the actor's eyes are some of the most valuable tools that they have to communicate with an audience. And so it really became sort of an exercise in utilizing the entire body and body language and voice to communicate. Every single project you do teaches you something. And certainly on Dredd, there was a lot of those sort of lessons, whether it's vocal or body language, that I was able to then utilize on other projects. Okay. Behold my stuff. Yeah, that's Scourge from Thor Ragnarok.
Behold my stuff.
Fun film, working with my dear friend Taika Waititi, who's a phenomenal director, and Chris Hemsworth, and getting to work with the lovely Cate Blanchett, whose work I've admired for so long. I had a lot of fun playing Scourge and playing in that sandbox. I really enjoyed the way Taika worked. There was nothing sort of really sacrilegious about the take. You'd be in the middle of the take and he would just sort of shout out directions at you. Oh, try this or try that. And that sort of really comes from, I guess, his origins of comedy and improvisation. And there was it sort of imbued the set with a kind of fun, looseness and relaxation. And yeah, I had a blast working on that movie. Okay. Aha. After all, if you're not committing sin, you're not having fun. Oh, I know this one. This is Black Hat. This is Priest, right?
After all, if you're not committing sin, you're not having fun.
I did have a lot of fun on that movie. One day, though, that wasn't so fun. We were shooting the scene where I'm on top of this train and I'm tethered to it. And Paul Bettany, who plays the priest, is hanging on the side of the train and I have to stomp on his hand. And they had me sort of stomp down and just kind of like stop the boot from actually impacting his hand by hitting the heel on the side of the train. But, you know, with everything that was going on, with the wind and everything, I kind of missed the mark and actually crushed his hand. And I just remember in the take, I smashed my foot down onto his hand and he just screams in pain, but more so than he'd done on the previous takes. And I'm thinking, God, he's a good actor. He's phenomenal, this guy. And then he lets go and it suddenly dawned on me what had happened. And feeling completely helpless, I can't apologize, immediately because I'm tethered to this train. I can't get off it. But he was a good man about it. He forgave me and yeah, but it was a fun shoot. Okay. Oh, yeah. Bad move, Grandpa. This is William Cooper in Red.
Bad move, Grandpa.
I didn't know initially the true extent of the caliber of cast that were in that until we really sort of got into it. Every day on set was watching the top tier go to work and bring it, and it was a great experience. Bruce Willis was so lovely, so generous with his time and energy, and he was actually remarkably down to earth and humble, and was always very, very good with me. I loved working with him. Okay. I'm just incredibly handsome. I'm going to say this is Johnny Cage. Mortal Kombat II. In theaters, May 15th. Don't miss it.
Just incredibly handsome.
When I think about Mortal Kombat 2 in relation to Mortal Kombat, it's like the Road Warrior versus Mad Max. Like everything in Mortal Kombat 2 is leveled up. The production value, the cinematography, the fights, everything is just dialed right up. The challenge of rising to the physical level that was required to play Johnny Cage was immense, and I was very grateful for the team that I had around me. I just thoroughly enjoyed working with everybody and the experience of making it. Super proud of this movie.